Society. Oh.
Thank you.
No way.
I want to participate for a little further. Could have gave it a bill. I'm myself.
That's my favorite plumber.
What are you looking for?
Said, how's my favorite plumber?
Pretty good.
Going good?
Yeah, I'm the only one out there with a truck that runs, so.
Yes.
It's a paper for you for a second.
Well, like. That clog's head for cars, phone. What do you know? Come find out I went to Stone over some kid that works me. She's kind of that. We start blowing codes and that's all this. Yes.
That's a bill.
No.
Just right okay.
Well, you had to chill. Goes in the lap.
It's mine.
You don't have long posts. What was it again?
No, you can sign right above it.
So you're gonna keep.
Oh, Roger, you now, nobody would give me. I mean, states aren't good. You know what they're wrong. They're gonna be like, loop, they have many things.
Oh, it says, even for your pay. Oh, well. They didn't work that very good. No. Because it could go both ways. No, we're discussing this tonight. Yeah.
They need to change use. Why not? Yeah. Well, like they, yeah, I can.
I really like.
Yeah, all right, ready? All right. All right. Select them. We take, you read the minutes yet? I did. Okay, anything changes? All right, I'll listen to a motion.
Make most way for minutes last week.
All in favor? Yeah. Okay, payroll thing, we do that. Payroll?
No minutes.
Is there somewhere? Oh, time to get it.
Oh, please.
I saw him. Look in this one.
No, he has.
He had him?
So.
You get too many. No, you get too many papers.
Oh, it's all together. Oh.
Look at the little pygmies sticking out the side. That's what I do.
That's all.
That's all there is, yeah. She's crazy. Go on.
I don't know.
Look in this one.
That's all fixed up.
Is he looking for you?
Before I said they were.
Reputations.
It's
always a minute. I was upset for
Joe, it's your turn.
My turn.
Yeah.
All right, so
you have the estimate for the community center. And if you have any questions on it, just ask me about it. You know, I can come in and sit down with you with regards to it. It covers a lot. It has a lot in there. And you know, we took them to their word where they said think big and make sure you include every possibility in there, including escalation, which when I talked to Carlene said, I can't tell you to put escalation in there, but you need to account for it. So I did. I included money in there for that. And in the estimates that you have, there's backup there for each line item. And then there's also an additional backup that includes the quotes that were received from subcontractors. So, you know, hang on to it, you know, mull it over. Like I said, if you have any questions, let me know. The only thing that I have to add to that, Dick, is that, and I think you have a copy of this. I gave Alvina a copy for you, and that is
Yeah.
a request for an article on there. And the reason for that is when we spoke with the feds, or Susan Collins's office, and Carlene and Kathy Drummond, Jared Golden's office, they said that one of the key ingredients to get funding, regardless of where it's from, is to know that the town's behind it. And I think this will give us an idea of whether or not the town wants to be behind it. Now, we don't have to, this doesn't mean that this year or even next year, that money has to be set aside. It all depends when we decide to file for a grant. And if we get the grant, they're going to want to know right off the bat whether or not we're, you know, the town's behind it and we're ready to go. Because they say they want it to be shovel ready.
So you haven't applied for a grant. This is just to get things ready.
That's correct.
At the time.
Yeah, and if they say to us, you know, like, is the town behind it? Well, let me back up. Carlene told us to call her mid-April.
Right.
And that she and Kathy would come out. When we find that date out, we're gonna call them either the end of this week or the beginning of next week, find out when they can be here. We'll let you know. And, you know, then we can get a lot of questions answered, I think, from them directly. And we can even show them this estimate and say, is this what you're looking for? Is this too much? So forth and so on.
Yeah.
You know, and then, you know, we can proceed from there. But if it does look promising, at least we'll be able to tell them that we do know the town's behind it.
Yep. Right. Yeah, because there is an article to accept monies, but not when you have to add, you know, 25% to it.
Yeah, that's from our conversations with them. You know, they initially said that the town would probably have to contribute 10 to 20%.
Yeah.
Maybe nothing. You know, like they might look at it and say, we're giving you the whole amount. You know, whether that's Firehouse or any other grants that we apply for. But then they also mentioned USDA, and with USDA, Carlene told us that that's generally a 25% share from the town.
Yep.
So that's why I put that number in there as a cost not to exceed 25%. So if you could give that some consideration,
Yep.
we appreciate it.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Yeah. New chain, new riff and. Yep. They. Full boundary. Well, he didn't say that. No. I would say they're full, like what we have. From what the way Cliff talked. It's like that. Cause that's, I mean. That's just sticking in my straight business. Yeah, the cheap ones. Yeah. Yeah, so. Somebody wants to make a motion, we'll do that. Is that price? Yes. Do I need to go about that? That's that price, that arrangement, yeah.
Make a motion that we expend $7,500 out of the Public Works County Improvement Account for a stainless steel sander in the amount of $7,500.
All in favor? Yeah, it's a whole dump body with the spinner up front like the other trucks.
Do we have to move the, do they have to move the high tank of the box?
Yeah,
They
they're gonna move something.
just the other side?
Yeah.
I thought it was left hand.
Right. You know, so they're gonna move that to get room in there to move it in there.
So that is a front down.
No,
That is a front down.
yeah. Yeah. No. Good. Do we need another workshop? No.
You guys go over the warrant? Will we give delivery on this? Well, we can do a workshop and just
And go over it.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you wanna do it?
can't Thursday.
Well,
Just one sec.
Monday?
Yeah, we can do that.
Monday?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
What time?
During the day or at night?
We can do it on that.
Monday night? Yeah.
5:30.
Yeah, Monday night,
Sounds
okay.
good.
Okay.
Yeah, this ordinance, are we gonna maintain this in the as an article or? That's what we had a question about.
Either article or a referendum.
Referendum.
Well, we would have, the referendum would have. Have two.
That's right.
We have to have two public hearings.
She said that can do it anyhow. You gotta have a public hearing on this.
Yeah, two public hearings, referendum, two public hearings, and we have to have, what is it, 60 days, I think, for absentee ballot.
According to Michelle today, for this type of thing, you only need one public hearing.
Is it still a 90-day window or a 60-day window?
This,
I'm
Also said if we had
I
it,
think it was 60 days.
60 day, I just don't know what the requirement is. I'm never positive on the requirement for the absentee ballot.
Right.
That's always kind of what I always lose
Yeah.
track of.
Yeah.
Um,
So if we had 26 or 27, I don't have a calendar. That you'd be okay
say it would be.
to put it on.
Right, we gotta,
This is it? Yeah, okay.
But if you did it,
but, yeah,
but if you did it as a warrant article, it could go,
right,
no.
just put it in. We still have.
Well, it's just,
But,
I'm just thinking it's a warrant, I mean, that's a lot,
It is.
you know what I mean? And, I mean, granted, people will have a little bit of time, you know, roughly 3 weeks, at least 2 to 3 weeks to review the warrant. What questions I don't ask, quite a bit.
we need to change it, I did
Yeah.
it today, I went
Yeah.
through it today.
I mean, you could put an article, something like that in, and then have this for people to look at, if they wanna look at it.
No, I agree, so I'm just,
Yeah, I don't,
Timing.
yeah, I don't,
we got time,
either
we can
way,
do referendum, and it would be ballot vote anyway. That's a lot
It is,
in the warrant, you know what I mean? And,
that's why I said,
Time
take it out,
wise.
leave it on my account or something,
yeah,
so like you said, the same amount of paper, but. It's no different than we're doing now, it just makes it a municipal.
Right. So you guys wanna do referendum?
I don't think,
We got time, if we wanna do that.
Yeah.
I'm fine with
Yeah.
that. Yeah, works for me.
okay,
We're gonna have something.
yeah.
We're gonna make a motion so that official or just.
Oh, I'll make a motion, the Brownfield Fire Department ordinance is a referendum item, vice. Warrant article.
Second. All in favor? Okay. All right.
So Monday, 5:30.
Yep.
So Monday at 5:30 for the workshop.
Yeah. We'll look at the correspondence folder, see if you see anything big. It's not bad. is it?
Is that, that's the liquor license for background.
What?
The liquor license for background. Okay, so Forest Hill Road.
I'm a teetotaler, you know. No.
I can drink, nobody can.
You're not allowed to drink it all, I'll draw. I'm too greedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of fun to watch them when they do, so.
A letter from Becca Lewis, Maine.gov, Route 160 and Lord's Hill Road. Had a call this morning regarding the safety of the corner of Route 160 and Lord's Hill Road. She's wondering if there could be a large convex mirror attached to one of the CMP poles at the end of Lord's Hill, so traffic could see both ways what was coming around the corner. Town, but I figured I would contact you because I have to live off Lord's Hill myself. Wasn't really sure how that all worked. I would assume the town would just need to call CMP's permission to use their pole. Well, we've all driven that corner for years, but it seemed like a good idea. And that's Rebecca Lewis, Supervisor Region 1, Maine DOT, Scarborough. Yeah, that's a state road. That's all. You know, that's
kind of this, yeah.
That's nothing. No, at all. So. Yeah.
Last thing I know, you couldn't put anything on a telephone pole other than their own stuff.
Miss Dave, you want to reply to that?
I will.
Yeah.
It's a corner of Lord's Hill and 160,
Yeah,
that's state.
yeah, that's state road. It's all seeing DOT. It's nothing to do with us. We got the LD 2003 tonight. Yep. Rich guy sitting in the back. Give us his money. Go it that way.
Donations in the code enforcement officer.
I just have to put my in this back. I wanted it writing, that's all.
Complaint. Trail. Thanks, stuff. Zoom. That'll be workshop.
Yeah.
Files. Efficiency Maine. Saving money for energy upgrades. Is that? Deal?
They did the link 5-6 years ago.
Really. Recent board 2000. That's the 2008, 2003. Second. Planning board meetings. Base. Trio. Scholarship. Active coaching workshop. The ordinance and reval. Are we gonna have a sit down with Bob Conville on the reval and progress moving forward? Because I know we've got.
Did you get the email in there?
Yeah.
Postponing it for what, next year?
Yeah, just because of the market value.
The market value.
How many houses are for sale in the state of Maine? Currently.
Last time I looked, it was in the 900s. Makes sense.
So still a good market.
Still a decent market, you know. Lots of inventory still low, that's the thing. We want to see more.
Huh.
Why are you looking this up?
900 isn't enough.
900 enough. You know how much land there is in the state?
Yeah, probably that people from out of state come in, they shut it all off. That's the problem. this has been a very generous state to the sporting industry. And it's pretty sad when that happens. But it does. I'm all done.
I do have an update for you guys.
Okay. Go next.
Lots happened in the last 24 hours, some good, some less good. Bear with me a minute because it takes a little description. I'm gonna talk about two different grants. One of them is the grant that we've been looking to get at this whole time, and it's called the Connect the Ready grant. It requires you to have a plan, a partner in an ISP, somebody to build, the town backing, and you go get this grant and they'll help you to pay to build a network. Second grant that I need to talk about is called the Reach Me grant. This one is awarded to ISPs to expand existing infrastructure so they can do line extensions off of existing poles to reach more people. What's required there is you got to have backing from the town, so town officials have to say, yeah, we're behind it. You have to have infrastructure in the town already, and I don't know, the third one was important, it doesn't matter. Spectrum has applied for this Reach Me grant in Freiburg, Lovell, and Denmark. So all three of the served towns in the ESRB district, Spectrum's applying for. They're talking at their selectmen's meetings tonight about whether they're going to be on board with jumping ship from the ESRB and taking the easy Spectrum way out. And then there's the question of what does that do to the other four towns in ESRB, Brownfield, Stone, Sweden. So this is kind of unfolding as we speak. Now, Spectrum has said that they would be willing down the road in the August timeframe to take on a new build in the four remaining towns. Though keep in mind, geographically, we're separated from the other three in the group. And that they would do that by applying for a Connect the Ready grant and paying the balance out of their own capital. So what they've said they will do is bring presumably a fiber to the premise network to these four remaining towns, Brownfield and 3, on their dime in the August timeframe using the Connect the Ready grant, which has, as you know, it's been a bunch of moving targets in terms of meeting the criteria. No one's certain going into the grant award what it is they need to have for ducks in a row or what they get their award. Doesn't feel fair to anybody. But
Doesn't it go down 113 already?
there is a fiber line down 113. It has one purpose, and that's to feed the public libraries and public schools. That's it. And I don't even know who owns that, but it ain't Spectrum.
No, it's consolidated.
You're right, they do own it. It was put together by a University of Maine project.
From Hiram to the line here,
Yeah,
and Denmark
That's what I'm
comes to
saying.
the other side of the bridge,
right.
and Spectrum comes to the other side of the bridge,
Yeah, they stopped at the Hiram line down here.
Yeah. and Spectrum goes to Lovell Pond.
Oh,
It doesn't cut from, and it comes to Conway.
You know, so the reason, obviously, the fact that the three towns might opt to kind of leave the equation, that leaves a ton of questions. What happens to the consultant that we've hired and paid, and what happens to all this other stuff? But beyond that, it's really complicated because simply having Spectrum get awarded that money means you can't get a grant to build anywhere in there. If it's covered, you can't get a grant. That's what we learned from the last grant round. Any covered at all, you can't put grant money toward that. You've got to do all the work separating off those dollars into two different buckets. So we can no longer get anywhere near those three towns.
Will Spectrum book to everybody?
At this point, nothing is in writing. I'll tell you that over the phone in yesterday's meeting, they told us that they would be looking hard at building a 100% fiber to the premise build out in these four towns. I don't really know how that works. That sounds like magic to me. You know, in the back of my mind, as no longer a member of ESRB, but just as myself, you know, I like to point out to people that it was just 6, 8, 10 weeks ago that Jim Bob's, you couldn't run a credit card. Those poor bastards were making a handwritten list of everybody that took stuff out of their inventory and couldn't pay for it because all they could do was cash, and nobody has cash anymore. And so 2 weeks later, when they finally got their internet back, because they're Spectrum customers, they started calling this list of people who couldn't pay them for the last 2 weeks. And, tell me that didn't affect their business in a very serious way. I don't believe that Spectrum has the best interest of the end user in mind. And that for me was kind of a non-starter, but that's me personally. So the update is things are in flux and we've now scheduled a bunch of meetings and try to keep it posted as I can. Things are changing. Corporate America put their foot down
Yeah. Yep.
again.
Anything else? Okay. Make a motion. Adjourn.
Seconded.
Okay. Here we go. We're done. I wish.
So that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
Put money.
I saw it.
They can, that was always part of the contract.